Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. A few topics for this video. One has to do with how the Americans, using not diplomacy, lost the geopolitical war that I think they instigated with the rest of the world. Why the rest of the world? In an attempt to dominate the world, you eventually are going to face countries that potentially could stop you or, how should I put it, prevent you for a while to take over this. And Russia is one example, major example. So you have options. I mean, you could just roll over Russia, or the how do you call it, the roadblock, or you can be delayed for a while and then eventually conquer, or stopped and be in a state of none of the sides are winning, like in the Cold War, let's put it this way, it's so-called. Or you can push and eventually this one, the roadblock, destroy you. These are the options. Maybe there are some minor how should I put it, scenarios over there available, but I think these are the main ones. So what happens? The Pentagon, this is one subject for this video, is warning us that there's an alliance forming between Russia and Iran. But I'm going to show you more than one alliance between Russia and others and among themselves, and then Russia, which, remember, Russia is isolated. We succeeded to isolate Russia because we, Al Capone, with its about 30 countries, vassal states, they isolated the rest of 150 countries or so. Remember, 50, 60. The world has 193, 194 countries. We have about 30 under our belt. Those are the vassal states. So they will make about European Union, Palau, Palapau, and Sapalau, a few islands. You have Australia, New Zealand, South Korea, and Japan, and maybe one in East Asia, and that's it. That's all you got. Let's give you 40 countries on this planet. The rest are not with you. And the other guys depend on, because of your lack of diplomatic skills that they dropped after 1991, they're losing. And I'm going to show you. And I'm not talking about Romania, Albania, Bulgaria, Hungary, not this kind of countries. No, big countries will form a big roadblock that could use the latest scenario, destroy us. I hope they don't. Nevertheless, this is one aspect, and I'm going to give you about four articles related to this. Now, Zelensky and Kursk attack by NATO, US, France, Germany, Great Britain, and the Ukrainians, obviously. I will show you how they, the guys in Ukraine, claim that they took over about 8 settlements in Russia. And also they took over Sudzha. They call it now strategic point. Why? It has a pipeline going through it. So they will try to do something with that pipeline. Now remember, whenever you win, regardless how small that win is, you call it, that's a strategic win. When you lose something strategic, you call it unimportant. That's the way it is. And as well as, self-attribution theory, which is when I do something successfully, it's me, because of me. When, I lose, it's not because of me, it's because someone else, the weather, or something else. So that's another. I will show you the maps of this Sudzha, where it's at, and Zelensky's claims. I will show you the Russians' reaction to the invasion and what I think about where and how far the invasion will get to. Then we have the Ukrainians claiming they captured thousands of Russian prisoners. They have thousands of prisoners, military, mind you. And we'll see. Let's look at the first article coming from these guys right here. Fox News. Pentagon says there is a deepening cooperation and relationship between Russia and Iran, and they should continue. And that is because of our failure. That's how I state. A partnership between Russia and Iran is allegedly deepening, according to the Pentagon. Yes, it is. It was clear. Why? who pushed these guys closer and closer and closer together. The threat that you are going to take over their countries, their nations, their histories, their culture. That's what it is. And their resources as well. Don't forget that one. Maybe that is the first one, and then from there you go down the list. So, next article that I have here to prove this obvious development, Sputnik. Sign of anxiety? Pentagon keeps eye on deepening Russia-Iran collaboration. Of course it is. And that's a problem for Israel as well. Next one. Brazil's Lula nods to long-term partnership with China. Have they been together? Why Lula won? The communist Lula with big balls. And their long-term partnership. And China, right here, ready to cooperate with Russia to strengthen mutual trust. These guys are so far away with their collaboration and cooperation, then these guys just join the club. These guys are already there, Iran, and you're gonna get Venezuela. North Korea also is over there. So this is because why? I'm not saying you should not fight the evil, but maybe the outcome of that fight is worse than the other, let's say, the other methods that you could have used. Cooperation, cohabitation. No, they said, no, we're going to destroy you. Well, the other guys say, well, come over, read over. So who's isolated here? If you look at the United States of America, these guys here in charge of us, remember, it's them and us here, right? This is what's going on here. Tell me when the Americans administration, created something with, countries with a real meaning. It's only vassal states. And they call these names like Germany, France, UK, like, oh my God, we, the world community, we are in charge. These are the vassal states. Bring me something else. They're losing Africa, they lose South America, except Argentina. But Milei is going to go, why? It's going to be a big uprising. I hope not bloody, but it's going to be an uprising in Argentina. That's my prediction. Milei would go. Milei is a pimp, the pimp of Argentina. Argentina is the lady of the night. Milei is the pimp of the lady of the night. And then the customers are economic, financial interests from the West, mostly United States of America area. Not necessarily American, because they're multinational corporations. You know what that is? Okay, it doesn't matter if I have the, let's say I'm a French guy and I live in the United States of America. I'm still a French guy. So don't go by the address. No, we got this settled, and let's say what Zelensky claims. For good reason. The Hill. Zelensky says Ukraine has captured key Russian town. It's a key Russian town. But they didn't destroy any infrastructure. Or the population or civilians, nothing. The Russians did it. Why? Because they were in the town. Unlike the Ukrainians who were never in a town. No. But hey, who are the invaders? The Russians. Well, we are in self-defense. That means we can do whatever we want. Isn't that how it goes? The story? Yep. Ukrainian is Ukrainian as I am Zimbabwean. President Zelensky on Thursday said Ukraine has captured the key town of Sudzha. I know someone tried to teach me how to say Sudzha, but I will say it thank you very much for that. But I will still say Sudzha. Maybe I will change it to something else. In the Russian Kursk region, providing his forces with an important foothold as troops continue to surge across Russia. How far do you think we're going to go? These guys, you have nuclear weapons. They will activate it. I guarantee you that, if they're losing. And I go to the next article. Zelensky claims Ukrainian troops have full control of Russian town of Sudzha. This is. Remember, this comes from Euronews, and I guarantee you, this is not a resultant of or an outcome of the Ukrainians' attack. No, this is probably the Russians destroying their own towns. I mean, these guys go so low. Ukraine captured the Russian town of Sudzha, and I will show you where that is located, as troops advance further into the Kursk region on Thursday, according to authorities in Kiev. It would be the largest Russian town to fall under Ukraine's control since the start of its cross-border incursion more than a week ago. Although it has only had a pre-war population of around 5,000 people, and it is a, what was that? Largest Russian town. 5,000 people. You have a stadium that has, 80,000 people, or let's say Maracanã, 200,000 people, all right, used to. 5,000, is it a village? What is it? 3 houses, 3 pigs, and 5 cattle and to or anyway, as I said, man, when you win, you overemphasize it. Oh my God. When you lose, we just lost Bakhmut, and Bakhmut, we lost, but it's okay. It's just a small thing, and many others. Let's go. Let's go and see what's next. This is what Sudzha is. They have a stadium right there. You see it? Sudzha is just this area here, because when I'm going to show you right there, you don't see a pizza house, burger house, pizza. This is Sudzha right there, the big Sudzha. And I'm going to show you where that is located. You see this little road here? This is the border with Ukraine. So this road goes to Sumy. That's how we identify where Sudzha is. This is Sumy right here. This is the road. This is the border, and Klong, there it is. I'm going to show you on a bigger map right here. Sumy right here, the road. All right, so here is Sudzha. So this is how far the Ukrainians got into Russia. Over there, this is where it occurs. Well, is that an achievement? It is. It is an achievement. What the Russians will do? I suspect they will destroy all these guys. And if even these guys are going to go straight to Moscow, which is right there, from Sudzha, from here, right there, the Russians will use something that the West will back the off. DPA International, Zelensky, Ukraine controls 80 Russian settlements, including key town with 5,000 people. Anyway, if they take control of that pipe and they will blow it up, they will say, well, it was the Russians. But they could have said that many times about the pipeline going from on their territory. This is just, I think, Al Capone trying to eliminate competition in Europe with natural gas and oil. That's all what it is. So they will have the Ukrainians do whatever they want, turn off the transit of cheap natural gas, Russian natural gas and oil towards Europe, some European countries. The European countries impose sanctions on themselves, and then the Americans come as they put their little cape and, I'm coming over, Red Rover, I'm going to give you natural gas, liquefied natural gas at a premium price. And I will never blackmail you, as the Russian potentially could have blackmailed you. Understand the imbecility? And when an accident will happen with this pipeline in Sudzha, they will say it was the Russians. They blew up their pipelines like a they come with a story that the Nord Stream pipelines were blown up by that instructor, the scuba diving instructor, and 6+1. Remember, in the little yacht. My God, they insult our intelligence every day, but not the baboons. The baboons are gulping it every day. Put it to their little hearts and little bowls, or no bowls. Here it is. Trust me, I will tell you a big lie, but it's gonna be beautiful. It's exactly this. You can't make shit up. Anyway, Ukrainian troops have taken control of the small Russian town. Now, it's just small, but it's the biggest one they took control of, Sudzha, and will establish a military command office there. Like we're gonna establish a human colony on Mars. The same. Ukrainian. He's Ukrainian. They gotta make sure they get this in your head that he's Ukrainian. He's Ukrainian as I am Zimbabwean. The office will oversee the maintenance. The Sudzha only had a pre-war population of around 5,000 people, but it is the administrative center of a border district of Russia's Kursk region, making its fall to Ukraine an embarrassing defeat for Russian president. Correct. The European so far lost that one. The Middle Easterner right here, no, it didn't. Yeah, he did so far, but we'll see how far that's going to go. About 1,150 square kilometers of Russian territory is now under Ukrainian NATO control, Kiev said. Good for you. All right, Russia evacuates wider areas of Kursk. Excellent, right? District about 10 kilometers from Ukrainian border. 10 kilometers, as I showed you here. 10 kilometers, Sudzha, which is right here in this area. Or this is better. Why? Because it gives us, I like the satellite view of things. Come on, show it to me. This is Sudzha for you, with a stadium. Yes, that's capacity of the stadium. No, these are tracks. These are not stands. The stands are over here and over here. These are the only stands. These are tracks for, how do you call it? The tracks and field. These are the stands. Ping pong. I think these are buildings though. Maybe this could be. So imagine, my friends, imagine the big success. But it's a success. It's a success. Let's be honest about it. Now, Kursk Oblast operation discussed with Western allies in advance, Ukraine presidential office says. So yes, who thinks that NATO did not coordinate, organized, planned, and probably implemented this should be, I don't know, allowed to vote. Let's go back to this one. Let's see if these guys tell us the 80 settlements here. But hey, we trust him because he's a big liar. He's one of the guys. What do you want? More than 120,000 people have been brought to safety in Kursk, according to Smirnov. Yesterday they said about 200,000. So let's go back to this. Obviously, this was discussed aloud and promoted and so on. Kiev held non-public discussions about its plans for the Russian Kursk Oblast incursion with Western partners. Held non-public discussions. That was not discussions, they were plans. Podolyak, Ukrainian presidential office head advisor, now we don't talk about Yermak anymore. Yermak, Zelensky's time was too obvious, told in an interview with The Independent published on August 15. While the United States and Britain have claimed that they were not informed of this offensive, lie. Podolyak argued that discussions did take place, but not at the public level. Well, they were not informed, they were in charge. In charge, I think. There are certain things that have not been done with the element of surprise, right? They have to be done with the element of surprise, and that have to happen on a local level. But there were discussions between partner forces. I think they organized that. Anyway, let's go to see what the Ukrainians claim they did, and according to Ukraine Forum, article from today, the 16th of August 2024, Ukrainian forces may have captured up to 2,000 Russian soldiers in Kursk region, independent reports. So, up to 2,000. According to the media outlet, around 8,000 soldiers were involved in the operation and thousands more were ready to enter the fray. Now, compare this with the Second World War numbers. So, whenever these guys tell me this is a full-fledged all war in Ukraine and so on, I always compare it with the military power of Europe in 1944, 1943, 1945, let's say 44, 43 in Russia. Or, sorry, I should punch myself, in Soviet Union. Ukraine was part of Soviet Union as well, remember, so they were bad dudes as well. If Soviet Union was bad, which was bad, the Ukrainians were also bad, part of it. Oh no, I remember they were held by the collar. They want to break away, but they couldn't. Yeah, but they were given Crimea. They were giving parts of Romania, from Hungary, from Poland. How come? So the Soviets were good for Ukrainians. So it was not necessarily the Ukrainians wanted to break away. They wanted to break away with other people's territories. If you don't like that, that's a fact. Go and check it out. We know exactly how Ukraine was, when it was, and from what it became. According to whom and held by whom? Trotsky, Bronstein, Lenin, what's his name? Lenin, what was his name? I can't remember his name right now, but I can have Djugashvili, that's who comes first, which is Stalin. You have then half Ukrainian, if I remember correctly, Nikita Khrushchev. And what the hell was Ulyanov, because he was Russian. Not even a core. I'm talking about Lenin, Stalin, Trotsky, all these garbages. Anyway, garbages, but they helped themselves and others. So when they tell me that the incursion with 8,000 soldiers, Kursk offensive, look at the Kursk battle, tank battle during the second, and that was almost 100 years ago, my friends, 80 some years ago, 81 or so. Look at that. Look at how it was then. Kursk, between the tanks of Wehrmacht and the Soviets. And you tell me about 8,000 people offensive? How far do you think these guys will go? They're going to go to, how do you call that, on Kamchatka Peninsula? That's why this is a controlled war. And I always leave a door for a scenario where these guys are spoken. I know it's crazy, but I will not eliminate that. And let's go to the last article where the Ukrainians, or the Independent tells us what the Russians do to prevent the Ukrainians get to Moscow and Vladivostok. The Independent, Ukrainian-Russia war latest. And this is 4 hours ago today on the 16th of August 2024. Putin's forces, because they are his forces, not Russia's, moved thousands, plural, of troops from inside Ukraine to defend Kursk. So Vladimir Putin's forces, they are his forces because he's a dictator, and that's what we need to get in our thick skulls. Forces appear to be moving several thousand troops to Kursk from occupied Ukraine to stabilize the surprise incursion launched by Kiev's forces. Not by Zelensky's forces, no, by Kiev. US officials told CNN, oh, and we trust you as the weatherman, that multiple brigade-sized elements made up of at least 1,000 troops appear to have shifted to the Kursk region from northeast. So 1,000 troops gonna meet, what, 8,000? Where are you, baby doll? 8,000? That's a big war. Remember, this is 2024. It's not, 1110 or something. It is apparent to us, and I'm quoting, that Putin, President Putin for you, and the Russian military are diverting some resources, some units towards the Kursk region to ostensibly counter what the Ukrainians are doing. End quote. U.S. National Security Council spokesperson, you are a spokesperson, John Kirby said. This is an imbecile, a weasel. Kirby. Yeah. So, my friends, are the Russians on a defensive in Kursk? Yes, they are. Do I think that's gonna go anywhere? No. These guys are already talking. They're gonna make Putin negotiate. Have you looked lately on the Russian map? How is a country that will make that? Oh, well, please, you beat us, man. We're gonna negotiate. Take it as a body if you want, and you fight someone that's in a full contact, and he's pinching you, not even pinching you, somewhere, I don't know, over here, clip. Can we talk? I want to stop the war. Really? And they're fighting with the fingers. That's how the fight in Ukraine is between NATO and Russia, with the fingers. That's what it is. That's what, from the potential. They don't even use a fist, a little an elbow or anything else. And anyway, my friends, what's criminal about it, I was about to say sad or bad, or no, it's criminal about it is that some innocent people, like you and I, insofar we are innocent people die believing that they are fighting for their nation and for their, you kind of, but you don't fight for your nation, you fight for other people's interest. Like, for instance, the Iraq war. When we invaded and bombarded Iraq, we were like, oh, what was that, Operation Freedom, enduring freedom and garbage like that, and we're gonna bring, because Saddam will destroy us. Those people, and I know there are many veterans here, people, I know they like to, I'm a veteran, I fought, I defended. You fought for what exactly? I know that's but in reality is, did you really fight to defend us? Or maybe to fight other people's interests? Some of them located in the Middle East, mind you. For other countries, other nations' interests, and other financial interests. As Elon Musk said, I think he was quoting somewhere else, poor people who don't know each other kill one another for the wars made by old people, rich people who know one another. It's going to be like this. Why? That's the way we work as human beings. You want to change that? Many people try that. Religions try to change. You can, shape the communist, the Soviet man try to change that, and many others, but it's always, the human nature, and that's going to destroy these guys' plans. I hope this war ends. It shouldn't have been started, but the interests wanted it to start. And the Russians said, well, we're not going to bow down from a good fight. Let's go. It's only rock and roll. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.